Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, my dear, darling, whole women. Good morning, and all our invitees who, after today, will be a part of our community. Good morning, and I welcome you to our monthly hangout for the month of May that we have tagged Elevate Your Personal Brand. I would start by apologizing for starting, I think, about 20 minutes late, and that's because our guest speaker had a little emergency she had to handle, and but she's got that sorted out, and she's here with us even in the midst of present challenges. Thank you so much, Bodam. I don't know if she's hearing me back end, but thank you so much for making this sacrifice. So before I let her on, I will just take a few minutes to read out her bio so that you prepare your hearts and position yourself properly to know who you're about to learn from this morning. Without much ado, I'll go ahead to read her bio. Combine a marketing expert, an etiquette and lifestyle coach, and an author, and you have the extraordinary visionary that is Bodam Taiwo. Serving as the premium spirits trade marketing manager at the Nigerian Bottling Company, Bodam plays a major role in creating and driving the execution of long-term strategy for sustainable and profitable growth of the portfolio. She was awarded as one of the top 100 career women in Nigeria in 2022. In 2021, she was awarded as one of the top 100 most inspiring women in Africa by Leading Ladies Africa. And she was also honored as one of the 12 extraordinary visionary women of African descent in the Future Forward Female Folio. She is the founder of the Refined Lady Movement, which is designed to help ladies, particularly ladies of African descent, become the most refined and elegant version of themselves. She trains organizations on leadership, corporate ethics, and business etiquette. She runs the advisory clinic, which she provides SMEs with marketing strategies to build sustainable businesses. She is the trainer for the marketing and branding for SMEs module at the Bayi Foundation. Bodam is the author of Beautiful, and she also writes on several online platforms. Bodam holds a bachelor's in engineering in electronics engineering and an MSc in mobile and satellite communications. And she also has a certification in luxury spirits marketing. Without much ado, beautiful women, can you welcome with me the extraordinary, phenomenal Bodam Taiwo?
Hello.
Bodam, please, I hope were you hearing me?
I could hear you loud and clear.
I was just boxing in the bio called Lady Bodam. Such a very intimidating bio. Thank you so much, Bodam, for being with us today. Thank you. I've already told my community that I've been trying to drag you from how many years. I told them, yeah, if they like, they should meet this opportunity, but I know they would not.
They
You
will
are here
not.
live and they are here,
Yes, yes,
to
yes.
learn from you. So we've tagged today's event, Elevate Your Personal Brand. And I don't know anybody better to handle this than you, because you can also be a branding expert and not be an etiquette coach. So when you have a branding expert and then combine it with etiquette, I mean, it's like explosive. Thank you so much, Bodam, for coming with us. And the floor is yours for the taking.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, ladies. Good evening. How are you? Well, good evening. Good morning. Why am I saying good evening when it's morning my end? I think I've had such a long day. It might as well be evening. It is so good to be here. Welcome, welcome. I apologize that we are starting late. Um, as Dr. Izini mentioned, I had an emergency I had to attend to this morning, really unplanned, but very thankful that I can be here. So it's evening in some countries. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. Exactly. So I'm global in my thinking. We're together. So it's great to be here. We're talking about elevating your personal brand. And I will be sharing just a few things with us for us to think about as we think of how to elevate our personal brands. Now, first, what's your personal brand? It is who you are known for and what you are known for, whether consciously or unconsciously. So, all of us have a personal brand. The difference is some of us are deliberate about our personal brand, and some of us are not deliberate about our personal brand. So, for example, um, the Relationship Builders Forum, I don't know your first name, but if I typed in your first name in Google, what would come up, right? If what comes up is, I don't know, is consistent and whatever, whatever, then you have a personal brand that's a bit consistent. Okay. If what comes up is all over the place, you don't have a personal brand that's consistent. So, assignment number one, in another life, I have been a teacher because I like assignments. Assignment number one is that you're going to do an audit of your online presence. Now, in this world that we live in, whether we like it or not, majority, somebody, I was listening to someone the other day, and what he was saying was so key. He said that as we go on, there'll be a lot of virtual engagements just like this. I'm speaking from Lagos, Nigeria. There may be people from different parts of the world, people from different parts of Nigeria, even who may not be able to fly into Lagos, Nigeria to sit in a room with me to hear me speak. But with with virtual technology and all of that, you can be anywhere in the world and really attend conferences all over the world, right? Next week, I'm in a conference in the United States, but here in Nigeria. I'm sitting here and I'm going to be attending that conference, and on and on and on. Why is this important? Why was this important? Because face-to-face meetings will become more expensive as time goes on, right? It will be more expensive for you to get Lady Bodam or to get anybody really in a room and have one-on-one conversations. You will pay dearly for such an opportunity. And in a world where everybody is now going online, where even if you're single, before you even go on a date, I don't know about you, but when somebody's like, I want to introduce you to someone, I'm like, really? What's his name? And they tell me his name is whatever, whatever. I just go on Google and go and check. Let me see if he's a serial killer or not. Let's just check some things first, right? Everybody checks online. Therefore, you need to be conscious about your online presence, either by your own personal you know means that you put out there, or by your presence on other people's online sites. Now, let me put a caveat. There are some businesses, there's some things that some people do that it is expedient for them not to be online. Example, if you are the head of the CIA, whatever, whatever, you're probably not going to have much of an online presence, to be honest. If you're head of DSS or whatever, you probably will not have much of an online presence because your role, your whole job, and your whole life's mission is about being unnoticed, unseen, and unknown, right? Very few of us, I mean, those people are very few and far between. Majority of us have some sort of online footprint, whether we like it or not. So, step number one is that we need to do an audit of our online presence. Thank you. And what does that mean? Doing an audit of your online presence. It means that you're going to open up an incognito page on Google or Safari or whatever browser you use. You open up an incognito page and you will type in your name as you are known. You type in your name as you are known. So for me, I would type in Budam Taiwo because that's the name that I know. And if I type in Budam Taiwo, I will see the things that come up there. So when you type in your name, what comes up? Take note of the first three bullet points that come up when you type up your name, right? And then ask yourself, okay, do I want to be known for this thing that has come up here? Is this thing even accurate or is it true? Am I the Bodam Taiwo that is on this number three? Is it me or is it somebody else who I don't even know? You want to take note of all those things so you know the amount of work that you need to do. Then you take note of your assets. What are your assets? What are all the presence that you have online? Are you on LinkedIn? And if you're a professional of any sort and you tell me you don't have a LinkedIn page, I would be concerned. I'll be concerned. So, as a professional, you have a LinkedIn page. Okay, you have a LinkedIn page. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, I see Facebook user over here, but I can't see your name. Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or which other one have I missed out? All these ones that were all there dancing all day, all of those things, they all add up together. And if you're on that, you need to be conscious of it. Now, I said your personal brand is Snapchat. Thank you. Snapchat as well, right? So, all of these things are online assets. I want you to take a note. Where am I? Now, if I take a note of it, I am on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter. I even have a Snapchat account, but I'm not there very often, to be honest. I'm on Snapchat, I'm on YouTube, I'm on LinkedIn, where I have my own personal website. Where else am I on? So those are things that I have control, direct control over. Then you also see things like, places I've given interviews, online interviews, articles I've written. Okay, I have a blog as well. I don't even know if it's still active, but that was also something I was in control over. Make notes of all your online assets. Now you keep that. So that's step number one. Step number two is, who do you want to be and what do you want to be known for? Who do you want to be and what do you want to be known for? Right? And what do I mean here? We're talking about personal brand. Your personal brand is first personal to you. We say want to elevate it. Before you elevate something, you have to have it. You can't elevate what you don't have or what you don't own. You can't elevate an asset that does not exist. So, who do you want to be known for? Are you clear about that? Are you clear? If I ask you now, who do you want to be? What do you want to be known for? What are you going to tell me? Are you going to be like, oh, yeah, that's easy. I want to be known for A, B, C, D, E. Or you start thinking a little bit like, well, and I used to have it, you know. So, who are you and what do you want to be known for? Now, some of the things that I want us to think about when it comes to this is, if someone asks me, but who are you and what do you really want to be known for? What do you stand for? Why are you here on this earth? Well, first of all, I'm here to sort of elevate the lives of women. And there are many ways I do that, many things I do that. But what I normally say is my personal brand is that I'm here to bring light. I'm a light bearer and a light bringer, right? A light bearer and a light bringer. That is, first of all, what I do, who I am, and all of that. Yes, so I bring light, I shine brightly wherever I am. And by doing so, I encourage other people to bless the world with their own unique light. So that is my own mission. My mission is to bring light to my world and to die empty. So to shine bright, 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 and to encourage every other person that I come in contact with to bless the world with their own unique light. So everything that I do, whether as a marketing expert, building sustainable, profitable brands, whether as an author, whether as a feminine leadership coach, whether as an equiper, whether as a speaker or a trainer or a coach or a mentor, everything that I do is to bring light and to encourage others to bless the world with their own unique light. Okay? So that's it. Now, your brand is your identity. It's what you're trusted for, is what you're known for, is what when your name pops up in people's minds, they should know you for something. So when Bodam Taiwo's name pops up in people's minds, one of the things they know is one of the things they would say is something etiquette, something like that. Some other people know me as something branding, something like that. Some other people will know me as, well, women, we don't, but women, meet her for women, right? So these are things that, even though they might not know the exact name or they might not know exactly how to phrase it or what to call you, they know the thing of something like that. So, what is your own something like that? What are you known for? What do you want to be known for? And the thing is, for your brand to endure, there was a quote by was it Lisa? Was it Seth? No, I don't believe it was Seth. Anyway, there was a quote by someone And the person was saying how, for your brand to stand the test of time, it needs to be tested. It needs to be tested. It needs to be managed. It needs to be refined and redefined. It needs to be expanded, sort of as markets evolve, because there are two things that can happen. Brands either learn or they disappear. Case in point, Nokia. Case in point, BlackBerry. Whoever had a BlackBerry? Let me know if you owned a BlackBerry. I owned a BlackBerry. I owned many BlackBerries. I had I think my first one was a basic BlackBerry, was black or something. Then I got one that was navy blue. And at the time it was like all the rage to have, these colored phones. And I had this beautiful navy blue BlackBerry. Did I have a red one at the time? No, I don't think so. I think it was navy blue. That navy blue one, and it was, BB pin and all of those things. But BlackBerry did not learn. It did not evolve. It did not allow the brand to grow through time. And many other things, many other things. We had Apple that came with his razzmatazz and his flash and all those types of things. We had Samsung that came out, all these other brands. And what happened to BlackBerry? It disappeared. I think formally, the company is gone, right? So it's done, it's dusted, the end. Same thing with Nokia. My first one was a Nokia. I think Nokia 3310 was the phone at the time. And many people, their first phones were Nokia, right? So, what happened to Nokia over time? Why did it move from becoming the phone that was a starter phone for everybody to being relegated to some? It's evolution. It's evolution. So your brand needs to learn or it needs to disappear. It needs to learn or disappear. Okay. And then, so now we're talking about, okay, your brand and everything. Are you learning? Are you disappearing? What's going on there? Right? And then how do you now do this? Now we said personal branding is authentic to you. It's about consistently showing this woman that you are on the inside of you. Okay. Now, before you first show, as I mentioned earlier, you need to uncover what it is that you have. So I want you to do, and I'm going to tell you, we won't go through everything today, but I just want to tell you some things that I think you should make note of so that you can check it, in your own personal time. Now, the first thing is, what are your skills? What are you good at doing? What do people compliment you on? So I want you to make a note of your skills and your credentials. What have you acquired? What trainings have you received? What awards have you been awarded? So if I ask myself, "But what are your skills?" First thing I would say is, hey, I have the gift of the gab. I understand how to communicate, right? So communication is one of my skills. I understand, I'm a writer. Obviously, that's one of my skills. I knew it. I've learned it even more. I've written a book. That's a skill of mine. What else? Finding beauty in things. Organization is a skill. Planning an organization is a skill that I have. What are your own skills? What are your credentials? Branding is a skill and credential that I have. I've learned how to build brands over 9 years or whatever. Starting new businesses is a skill that I have. I've learned it. I've received credentials. I've studied about it. All of these types of things. Make a note of all your skills and credentials that you have. Then make a note about your passions. What are you passionate about? I'm passionate about women. When it comes to seeing women, and that's why even after the kind of, I think I got in yesterday at um, maybe almost midnight or past midnight because I was recording all day from morning, and then this morning had this thing that happened. But do you know why I'm still here? Because I'm passionate about the rise of people. I'm passionate about seeing humans, especially women, become the very best version of themselves. So I show up because of what I'm passionate about. What are you passionate about? What sets your heart on fire? Before you go to bed at night, when you close your eyes, what's that thing that flashes and you're thinking, Lord, if I had no limitations, this is what I would do? Don't let that die. Make a note of it, acknowledge it, give it breath by writing it down. Give it breath by writing it down, right? So there's that. What are your core values? What's your belief system? So when I ask people, what are your core values? What do you believe? And this one can go many ways. I work, so what are my core values? My faith is one of my core values, my spirituality, family, love, loyalty, right? Excellence. On my wall here, I have a list of words that I go by, and sometimes I just go there and read what on the doors of my cupboards. I just read the words. I have things like elegance, excellence, happiness, quiet, success, all those things. They're all things that I have, but the top things are what I mentioned to you: faith, family, love, loyalty, excellence. And then every other thing, I have about 10 that's really, really, you know. And why is this important? Because when people are disloyal, it cuts me. And I didn't always get it. Why certain, disloyalty gets to me in a different way, but it does. I've had friendships for 20 something years. Yes. The other day I was telling a friend, I was like, how long have we even known each other? She was like, but this our thing is since 2009. And we are, I have sisters. I have some friends, but I have sisters. I've been blessed with the gift of sisters because loyalty is important. I show up for my sisters. Even when I haven't slept, I can't sleep, I will show up for my sisters because loyalty is an important value to me. And when others don't show up for me, I feel really bad. Why? Because loyalty is so key to me. So understand and ask yourself, what are my core values? What's my belief systems? What do I like and what don't I like? And then ask yourself, what's my mission? What's my mission or what's my vision? Remember what I said. I am on a mission to bring light to my world. That's why I'm here. I'm on a mission to bring light to my world and to die empty. And I'm on a mission to help everybody I come in contact with shine their own unique light as a gift to my world. That's what I'm here to do. So whether I'm going on about how I can solve Africa, it's because I want to bring light. And I want Africa to shine with her light. When I'm speaking to women saying, this life of mediocrity can't work, it's because I need them to shine their lights. That's what I've been gifted to do. That's what I'm here for. What's your own mission and what's your own vision? Okay? And then the final thing I'll say there in this first part is, who are you sent to? Who are you sent to? I am sent to women. I'm sent to women. I'm sent to businesses, multinationals, small and medium enterprises. I'm a business builder. So I'm a woman builder, I'm a business builder, and I'm a continent builder. So those are the three people I'm sent to, or the three places I'm sent to. Who are you sent to? Sometimes you ask people, who are you sent to? And they begin to tell you, in 1965, when I first started, I was going on it. No, no. If you can't clarify it in 2, 3 words, then you're not clear. Someone once said, if you cannot write your mission on a little thing like this, then you're not clear about what it is. If you can't explain it to a 3-year-old, you're not clear. If a 3-year-old says, Auntie Bodam, what are you like? My niece, I have a niece, she's 2 years and 2 months. So she asks me, Auntie Bodam, what are you on? And I'm saying, hey baby, I'm sent to women. I'm sent to bring light to women. She might not get what bring light to women really means, but she gets what I'm saying. She are women and lights. Can you explain who it is you're sent to, what it is you're sent to a 2-year-old, to a 5-year-old, without using excessive words, right? That's one of the things. So, who are you sent to? Women, for me, businesses, the continents. Women, businesses, the continents. What is your own mission? So, I just went through this really quickly because, like I said, we cannot elevate what we don't know or what we don't have, right? We will just be elevating, we'll be building on sand. So, now how do you elevate your personal brand? How do we elevate your personal brand? How do you elevate your personal brand? Are you still with me? Let me know. Let me know if you're still with me. So I know that you've not put me on and you've gone to make breakfast for the family. Are you still with me? Let me know if you're still with me. If you're still with me. Yes, okay. Fantastic. You're still with me. Now, one of the things, okay, great. There's some ways you can elevate your personal brand. There is how you dress, how you communicate, okay? How you dress, how you communicate, um, and how you show up, right? There are many other ways, but let me see. Maybe if we cover these three today, I think we've done something good. So number one is dressing the parts. Dressing the part. Now remember that you have you have gone through this thing of who am I? What am I here for? Who am I sent to? What is my mission and my vision? What are my core values? All of that. Now, before we even get to dressing the part, I want you to write out your statement of your ideal woman. So if you met somebody that's, told you all the things that you've written on paper, how would that person be? What would that person wear? How would that person speak? Where would that person go to enjoy entertainment? What types of meals does that person eat? Where does that person live? What kind of sheets does that person sleep in? What is that type of person's favorite color? All these things. Where, what. I want you to make a note of all those things about that person. Write it all down, right? Yeah, write it all down. The person does this, the person enjoys movies, the person watches Netflix, or she attends movie premieres, she loves going to art galleries, she whatever it is about your person. I want you to write that down as to what your ideal person is. Forget money, forget limitations, forget whatever, forget everything. In an ideal world, what would that person be, and what would that person write? Who would that person show up as? Okay. Now, um, yeah. So what is that? What's that ideal person? Then now we will now move to dressing the part. And what does it mean to dress the part? It means how are you going to show up all the time? How are you going to show up? Before we even speak about what to wear, my question to you is, what does your brand say about how you should show up? So for me, I have a very classic brand. And what that means is I don't necessarily follow fashion trends. They mean nothing to me. Yeah. I wear things that suit me, right? I'm very classic in how I dress. So there's some type style of jeans that I will not wear or ever wear. The ripped jeans that are just torn all the way like this, but I'm Taiwo is not going to wear them because it doesn't suit with my own personal brand and my sense of style. Okay, so my sense of style is very classic, very elegant, simple, but at the same time eye catching. Right? So every piece that I choose to own are pieces that suit me and my body type, not necessarily pieces that were released on New York Fashion Week a few weeks ago. That's not what I go after. Okay. So I'm very clear about what my personal sense of style is. So before we get into dressing, question one under dressing is, what is your sense of style? Are you bohemian? Are you casual? Are you, formal? And your sense of style has to be closely linked to where it and what it is that you do every day. So, for example, if you say you're a banker, you work in the finance sector, and usually people that work in the finance sector, whether in Africa or really all around the world, a certain level of dressing is expected because I'm not going to entrust my money to someone who shows up to work in ripped jeans and a t-shirt. No, sir. No, you can't be focused in life. Can you give me a suit and a tie so that I know that you're serious about my money, right? People in finance industries have to look a certain way. So you cannot say you're building a career in finance or dyed hair. No, be proper, please. I'm not saying there's anything improper about dyed hair, but in the finance industry, there are certain rules, sometimes unspoken rules, that govern how it is that they show up and how it is that they dress. So, question to you is, does your sense of style align with the industry that you've decided to make a living in? Yes or no? You need to write that down. So if you say I have a bohemian style where everything is just like, loose and flowy and floaty, and you're like all gypsy stylish, sometimes all these type of things, and you work in finance, and you're saying I'm not being promoted to the level I want to be promoted, is it because you're not showing up as a finance professional that can be trusted? Because there's that. Sometimes the reason we're not promoted, the reason we don't get breakthrough, the reason we don't attract certain types of customers, it may not necessarily be because you're not competent or you don't know what it is you're doing. It may be because you're just not showing up as a professional that you are. You're not showing up as a competent person. And before you go on, as people should know me for my content, human beings are first visual. Whether male or female, we see first before we now see. So we want you to look appealing. There's only one person that does not judge physically, judges by the heart. I leave you to find out who that is. Every other human being judges the heart, judges physically. So how are you showing up? How are you showing up? This is important. Okay. So we said now your sense of style. You've identified your sense of style. Now I want you to open up your wardrobe, and I'm looking in this direction because that's the direction that my wardrobe is in. I want you to open up your wardrobe and ask yourself, the pieces that are here, do they align with the sense of style and the woman I want to be known with? Let me give another example. The types of pieces that I choose, the types of clothing pieces that I choose, are things that are elegant as well as modest. So I would typically not go out unless there's a wardrobe malfunction and maybe have excessive amounts of cleavage showing. Not me at this stage, right? Again, because it doesn't align to my sense of style. I will not, my sense of style or my personal brand. I may not go out with excessively short clothes again because it just doesn't align with my personal brand and my sense of style. And you see what I was saying, that your personal brand needs to be authentic to you. So when I am thinking of how it is that I'm shopping, or the pieces that I'm picking, it's things that are authentic to my personal brand. The other day, I saw an outfit on someone online and I bought the outfit. And I remember it came and I wore it and I just thought, oh my goodness, this is not something I would typically wear. I wore it too, irrespective, but I was so self conscious. So it wasn't until I got to my sister's house later and I told her, and I was like, B, look at me. How does this outfit look? Is it what? She was like, oh, it's fine. It's great. It's this, is that. Said, oh, maybe, for the time of day, maybe, and she gave me a few tips as well, because she's just brilliant in all that type of stuff about styling and everything. She's amazing there, absolutely amazing. But, you know, the reason I was feeling so uncomfortable because I was wearing something that ordinarily I would never, I would not really pick out and wear, especially not in broad daylight. So she gave me styling tips that you can incorporate some of this into your wardrobe, but look at the time of day. So there are some things that are appropriate for 9 a.m. and there are some things that are appropriate for lunchtime, and some things that are appropriate for evening, and some things that should only be seen in the nighttime hours. There's some things that are appropriate for dinner, some things that are appropriate when you're going dancing, all sorts of things you need to know and have that full spectrum. I have a wedding to attend this evening, for example. It will not be okay if I attended a wedding wearing what now? Wearing a flowing white dress. Um, I'm not the one married. I'm just attending the wedding. So if I'm attending the wedding and I'm wearing a flowing white dress, the question is, what's my aim? Am I trying to take attention from the couple, from the bride, right? Unless, of course, the bride says, you know what, the dress code for this wedding is flowing white dresses, then fine, have at it. But God bless you. I love that. She says, don't wear lingerie to work and don't wear a suit to bed. Period. Know what it is that suits wear. So there's that. And it's closely linked to your personal brand. You know why this is important? People need to have a minimum expectation of you. They need to know that um, when something happens, if I need Lady Bodam to show up, there's a minimum expectation of how she will show up. Let me tell you a typical example, very personal example. So, because of all the things that were going on this morning, I hadn't done my face, right? So, and even when I came on earlier, I'd sort of done something, but I hadn't just put powder or anything. So when Dr. Izine had come on to give the introduction, I looked at my face. I was like, "Brother, no, 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 no. This is not okay. I know things are, a bit all over the place, but it's not okay. Quickly go and just try and make yourself look a bit more presentable." And that's what I did. So while she was announcing, I put the volume very loud so I could hear she was reading my bio, and I quickly ran off to just try and make myself look a bit presentable because there's a minimum expectation that people have of me because I've built it consistently through my personal brand. So I will not come and speak on personal brand showing all the challenges I'm going through on my face. I won't do that. And you shouldn't do that either. So someone knows, I tease sometimes when I tease women who are married, when I speak to men who are married, I tease them. I say, "Are you the type of lady that your husband is coming home from work and he'll call you that, babe, I'm with Body, remember?" You say yes, yes, yes. Then he's 10 minutes out. Babe, Body is with me, oh, he's coming. Mm. Babe, we're outside, oh, babe, we're outside and with Body. And I tease and I'm saying because he knows that if he doesn't call you 100 times, him and Body will be interested to see how you will show up when he gets home. That shouldn't be you. There should be there should be a minimum expectation. It shouldn't be that when he comes, babe, is everything okay? Are you set? No. Minimum expectation of you at home, minimum expectation of you in the workplace, minimum expectation of you at social events when you're speaking. I was speaking, I hosted this summit 2 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago now, and it was really amazing. Anyway, I was hosting the summit, and one of the things that I did, I was a bit concerned about something, you know, and I was sharing with a group of my sisters. I was like, "Oh, I'm a bit concerned about, dressing and all these types of things. How can I handle it?" Because I was getting very concerned. And someone suggested, just send a message to everybody just about the minimum expectations. And I sent a message out saying, this is a conference on refinement and of elegance. Therefore, our dress code, a beautiful worded message, saying think elegance when you're dressing, think, and I gave guidelines there in terms of necklines and all those expectations that I had and I wanted to enforce. And I did that because I was worried about just one person, but I did it to everybody. So it's not like, anything. But that's because of the expectation that I'd come to have from that person. And expectation is built when something is consistently portrayed. So I want you to think, what am I consistently showing? What am I consistently showing in when I show up? How do I consistently show up? What do people say about me? Am I the person that's always handing in stuff late? Am I the person that's always showing up late? Am I the person that's always, in Zoom meetings, they're like, "Oh, can we put on video?" You're like, oh, I'm not prepared. You're always the one that's not prepared to put on your video. Perpetually not prepared to put on your video. Or always. You're always showing up unprepared. Are you ready to go? I didn't know it was today. Oh, no. That's your personal brand that's eroding. So when we speak about elevating your personal brand, think about the little details that make up a person. The little details. How do you speak? I was coaching a lady, uh, I think it was last year. And she was saying to me, "Lady Bodam, people don't take me seriously in my office. I enter and they're like, 'Oh, you're great. You do the work. We love you on the team.'" She said, "But when they're going to meet the government officials that we go to meet, they're like, don't come with us. So stay, at the back end or whatever." And I was like, "That's interesting. Talk to me about how you get to the office. Talk to me." She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Walk me through your day. Walk me through how you arrive the office, what you do when you arrive the office. Walk me through that." And she starts walking me through. She's like, "Okay, when I get to the office, um, this is how I show up. I greet them like, 'Ah, my guy, how far, how far?' I sit on the table. I do this, I do that." I said, "Aha, that's what it is." They know you are competent to do. They show you're competent to do something. but they don't know how you represent them when you guys go to meet stakeholders that truly matter, because you haven't demonstrated that in the office. So we started working on that step by step. How can you, when you enter, can you change the game? Starting from how you dress, how can you change the game? You're not one of the guys. You're a girl who is a leader amongst men. That's what it is. You don't have to be one of the guys in that sense, to be a leader or to make an impact or whatever. And gradually that perception starts shifting. When someone is, what's doing, she's like, no, don't hit me. Don't ask me, all these types of things. And why is this important? I'm saying expectations are built when something is consistently portrayed. I love that. It says how you show up speaks to how much respect you accord someone or a group of people. So true. So true. So, and it starts by respecting yourself enough to treat yourself as a brand. Respecting yourself enough to treat yourself as a brand. Now, there's one thing where you're there, you're just you're like, oh, well, anyhow, but do you respect yourself enough to treat yourself as a brand? Do you look at yourself? I tell people all the time, you are the CEO of yourself. I'm the CEO of Lady Budam Incorporated. We are a global organization, a multinational, multi-million dollar, amen, brand. And as the CEO, as the Chief Executive Officer, I decide how the shares of Lady Budam are going to grow each year. I decide what the marketing and branding plan is for Lady Budam and how we consistently show that across different cadres. I decide how Lady Budam is going to grow profit margin or revenue. And this is not just Lady Budam as a feminine leadership coach, as an equiper, as a teacher. It's Lady Budam as a human being. Respect yourself enough to treat yourself as a brand. And that should be your commitment. I respect myself enough to treat myself as a brand. And what does that mean? Now, because I'm in branding and marketing, that's what I do as my daytime job, or as part of my daytime job. I have many daytime jobs, but that's part of what I do. I build brands, and I've been building brands for 9 years. We have annual plans for our brands, right? Right now, I am in the middle of planning cycle because my year started in May for the brand I currently work on, or the brands I currently work on. My year started in May. So we are in the middle of getting all those plans signed up. And I'm not signing up 1 year plans. I'm not signing up 1 month plans. I'm signing up plans for 12 months with a view to how it will impact 24 months. Those are the types of plans we're signing up. So we're signing up annual plans. That's number one. I have quarterly business reviews as a brand. Quarterly business reviews mean I sit down every quarter. I review performance of my brands in the quarter to say, hey, how is this brand doing? Numbers wise, how are we doing? Equity wise, how are we doing? We said we were going to do ABC. And that's why if you set goals, my coach first introduced me to this in 2019, that you set goals in a quarterly 90-day cycles. And I thought that's interesting because work wise, we set very short 90 term set. We have a full year plan as to where we want to go, but we have 90 quarterly cycles where we review. And we have this huge meeting every quarter, quarterly business review meetings, where we deep dive into activities, we deep dive into the goals we set, into the what we got from it, on and on and on and on. So my question to you is, what are you doing quarterly business reviews? Then, in addition to quarterly business reviews, we have monthly performance reviews. We have monthly performance reviews. And what are monthly performance reviews? In that, there are shorter meetings. We sit down monthly performance wise and we review how the month has gone. How has this month gone? What did we do well? What didn't we do well? How can we make the next month better? And then we have bi-weekly meetings. And what do we do in the bi-weekly meetings? How can we close this month? So your bi-weekly meetings add up to your month. Your month adds up to your quarters. Your 4 quarters adds up to your year. If you miss a bi-weekly meeting review, the probability that you're going to hit where you want to hit at the end of the month is slim. If you miss your monthly performance reviews, the Probability that you will hit where you want to be at the quarter is few, is lower rather. If you miss your quarterly business review, the probability that you're going to get to where you want to get at the end of the year is slim. This is how we do in the corporate space. How much more in our personal lives? Are you as deliberate in seeing yourself grow, evolve, and become? It's not just about getting money. It's asking who am I becoming? Thank you. Compound interest. It's the law of compound interest. Exactly. That's what it is. So everything adds up. I'm reading this book called Unstoppable, and it's an amazing book. You should go and get it. Everything adds up because that's how you truly become unstoppable. Have you seen those people that in the space of 12 months, you're thinking, how did you get all this stuff done? Because they're deliberate and intentional about how they spend their lives and their time. I have a time blocked in my calendar on Sundays. It's called thinking time. So I go to church, I come back, all of that, and I have thinking time blocked out. Usually all my Sundays. So I really hate taking things on Sundays because it's messing with my thinking time. And what do? I think. I enjoy thinking. I dream. I think. I evaluate my previous week. I plan for the following week. Who do I want to connect with? Who do I want to? All these things I do in thinking time. And that's because I take myself seriously. I'm not a joke. And you are not a joke. You are not here just by chance. So, elevating your personal brand is not a nice to have, it's a duty and a responsibility that you have because that's your gift to our world. That's your gift to our world. So, it's not when I finish doing all the things that are important, then I can think about personal brand. No, your personal brand is the beginning of what is important. Yes, thank you. Thank you for reaffirming that. You're not a joke. You have impact, you have import. We need you and all your giftings and everything that is of you. We need you blazing fully in our world. So think of details. If there's nothing else you take from today, take this thing of how can I be intentional about every part of my life. We have different aspects of our lives, and there's a brand there. You have your personal growth and your personal development. I want you to make a note. What am I going to do in growing that? You have, if you're a person of faith, you have your spirituality. What am I going to do in growing that? You have your friendships, your associations, your partnerships. How are you? What is your goal in those areas? How are you going to be intentional about that? You have your business or your entrepreneurship or your career. How are you going to be intentional about that? You have your finances. That's a whole other one. How are you going to be intentional about that area as well? It's part of your personal brand. People are like, finances is no. Are you known as a spendthrift? Do you know why this is important? I'm going to use this example again because it just flows. If you are in the finance industry, right, you want to be seen as your brand is that you want to be seen as one of the topmost fund managers or finance managers, right? All of these types of things. And you're saying, okay, this is what I want to be seen as. But people also know that because you spend money so recklessly, you're owing Louis Vuitton some money. Okay, maybe not. You're owing Polo. You're owing I don't know who. You're owing people all over the whole place because you cannot manage your personal finances. Question is, why should I trust you with my business finances, with my inheritance, if your own personal financial life is a mess? That's why it's important. You have your legacy. What are you leaving behind? What are you known for? Being intentional in all these aspects of your lives. Being intentional to what you post on social media. And there are too many of us that are unintentional. Things are happening, if all these gossip blog sites and all those things, they put up a story. You don't even think this kind of stories, it's something that my ideal woman, remember what you said earlier, you've crafted who your ideal woman is. So my ideal woman, does she read these type of stories? Beyond reading them, does she comment on these type of stories? Because I see too many people who should know better, commenting on some stories that I'm thinking, no, now you're writing there. Yes, everybody's on social media. Yes, she should not have. Yes, or we're using abusive language, or we're fighting in the comment section of Instagram. That's not your personal brand. Well, some people that may be their personal brand, but I don't think that's the kind of personal brand you want to have. So are you intentional? Even I'm intentional about even the types of pictures I put up. I remember I did a photo shoot once, and he took many beautiful pictures. And one of the dresses I was wearing, standing was great, sitting, on a normal chair, the dress was great. But there was a particular pose he told me, these photographers, they get all excited. So I was like on the floor and, in some kind of interesting way, and it was quite interesting. And I thought, okay, this is interesting. And when the images came out, I realized that my dress had gone up and my under thigh was showing. The picture is stunning. Let me not lie. It's a stunning picture. It's just that the brand that I have built for myself, I will not post that sort of picture on social media, as beautiful as the picture is. Do you see? I'm that deliberate. I curate my online presence deliberately. I curate even as little as the types of jokes I forward on WhatsApp. And let me tell you a story of when I realized how important this is, and we're wrapping up now. Is I have many family groups. So in one of the family groups with some of my cousins, there was a joke someone had sent to me. And it was a bit of an off-color joke, right? It was a bit naughty. And I thought, oh, this is a bit of a naughty joke, but let me share this joke. And I sent the joke, and people were laughing, but a cousin of mine actually said something. It was like, Lady B, when I saw this joke, we laughed, it's funny, but I checked to see who said it, and I was like, this does not add up to you. It contradicted my brand. It was such a little thing. This was probably about maybe 5 or 6 years ago now, but I've never forgotten what he said to me. Never forgotten it. That people, even when you think people are not watching, this was family. It wasn't external, it was my family cousins group. We play about everything. But even when you think people are not watching, people are not seeing, people don't realize, people are watching, people are seeing, people are recognizing, people are following. And that consistency in building and elevating your brand, that intentionality in how you show up, how you speak, how you type, how you dress, how you even express anger. I'll give you a final story. I was in the bank maybe last year or so. I had gone to, my card wasn't working and I needed to sort out some things last year. So I was waiting, and normally I really dislike going to banks. No offense to my bankers, I just don't like it. So I was there, like, okay, here I am, in the bank, fine, cool. And, they were wasting time. So I was waiting. And then somebody, I was like, I saw the person was going on. So I said, excuse me, I'm waiting. Said, oh, I've done it like 10 minutes ago. You know, my vision clouded, steam started coming out of my ears. I was like, but I'm just show yourself, because honestly, this is nonsense. So I wanted to start saying, where you mean I've been standing here right in front of you and you finished this do you think I was getting ready to blow? And I just felt a check. I just felt something restraining me, like, no, 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 no. Not today, baby, not today. And I'm like, it's today. Today we're going. So I was, but I just felt so. Anyway, I said, okay, I have been waiting for a while. You could have let me know that it had been done. I think maybe he rolled his eyes or something. Anyway, I was like, imagine the disrespect. Me, Budam. Me, the normal me that is inside of me. Forget all this thing. Me. Oh, well, no problem. So I carried myself. I was like, Kai, when you're beating yourself, like, this, if I reacted, when you don't react sometimes, it's not sweet. When you want to react, when you really react, and hey, you now have peace of mind. So I was very upset that I didn't allow myself react. And I'd barely taken 7 steps away, and someone comes, well, then we're still COVID. So we had masks, we had social distancing, everything. And someone comes up to me, excuse me. I'm like, yes, because I was still a bit irritated. I was like, yes. She's like, are you Lady Buddha? Yes. Wow, wow. I follow you on Instagram. I follow you on I don't know what. I attended your class on I don't know where. I went to I don't know who. And I just thought to myself, my goodness, imagine what would have happened if I had exploded the way I really wanted to explode. I'm telling you, I was not even thinking personal brand. I was just having a check that don't explode. And I was like, I should have shown you who I really am in life. Forget all these stories I'm saying. But imagine, and that's how so many of us lose opportunities. We lose opportunities because we give in to our baser instincts instead of rising above. And that's what elevating your personal brand is. It's rising above sometimes your natural instincts, your natural inclinations, your natural annoyance, your natural anger, and becoming, standing for the woman that you want to be. On the greatest night of his life, Will Smith was going to win his first ever, isn't it? Or whatever, I don't know. But it was his greatest night of his life. He allowed anger, anger get the better of him. And now, instead of people remembering that as the greatest night of his life when he won an award for an amazing role he played as King Richard, we remember that as the night that he lost his temper, went up on stage, slapped the host of stage, came back, was swearing like a gutter, I don't know what, you know, lost, was suspended for how many years, lost privileges to whatever. Look, that is the night we remember instead of remembering it as the greatest night that it could have been for him. Don't let that be you. Elevate, elevate your personal brand, elevate yourself, and rise above who it is that you sometimes naturally want to be. Stand for you, be for you, and be that responsible CEO of the personal brand that is you. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I will take it now. How are we doing? How are you doing? Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay, Dr. Izine is frozen. I think she's trying to come back in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. If you have any questions, if you have any, yes, if you have any questions, any com any what's it called now? Comments. Oh my goodness, I've lost my English words. Any questions, any comments, I'll be happy to take. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad it was of value to you. And yeah, I'm glad that you've had a good time because I have a good time sharing. I have had a good time sharing with you this morning. Okay. So if what's the one thing, let me ask, if you have no questions, I'm going to ask you questions. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. So I am glad to hear. Thank you very much. Now, my question to you is, what's the one thing you're going to do from today? What's the one thing? Now, I know, sometimes we have all these things and we're like, oh, this is nice, this is insightful, this is profound. Okay, what next? And then we go away with all these good feelings and then it goes. So I want us to make commitments. What's the one thing you're going to do going out of here? What's that one thing? Not two, not three, not five. What's one thing you're going to start doing, stop doing, or continue doing from today? What's that one thing? Let me know. What's the one thing that you're going to be like, okay, let me start doing this, or let me stop doing this, or let me continue doing this, or let me do more of this? Let me know what's that one thing for you as we go on and as we wait for Dr. Ezine to come back in. Okay, I have a question here. Okay, so someone says her one thing is that she's going to respect herself as a brand. Fantastic. I love that. Respect yourself as a brand. Yes. And now this question is, how do you actually review your progress? What parameters do you measure with? Beautiful question. Thank you for asking. Now, at the beginning of each year, to start, let me say January. Now we're in May. Whenever you wake up is when you wake up, is your morning. So at the beginning of the month, usually I do quarters. At the beginning of the quarter, I set goals for myself. The goals can be something simple like personal branding goals, or it can be something more complicated, right? One of my quarter two goals was to host the Refined Ladies Summit. I had a minimum number of participants I wanted to attend virtually as well as physically. I had all those things. That was a goal. I had other goals as well in terms of how I wanted to grow. I had finance goals, I had personal development goals, all of those things written down. Now, as I go in, when I set quarterly goals, I break them down into monthly goals. I break them down into sometimes weekly goals. What does that mean? If I have a goal that says I want to grow financial literacy, my that's my quarterly goal. I want to, and my goals are not usually ambiguous like that. They are very specific goals with numbers and timelines attached. Let me use this goal of the summit. I want to host a summit from the 27th to the 29th of April 2022. I want to have X amount of physical, X amount of paid attendees, X amount of virtual attendees, zero technical issues. There's a certain flow. After I have that in mind, that's what I want to do. That's a goal. Good. In the weeks leading up, now because I was a short goal right at the beginning of the quarter, in the weeks leading up to the summit, I'm checking the progress. How many people have registered for this? What are they registering for? Are they paid or are they virtual? I'm checking every step. Now, to the people I was working with, I'm sure that, okay, it's not that big if it happens. No, to me, because I had a goal. And I know that because I take myself seriously as a brand and everything that I put out there, I'm very serious about it. I don't joke. Like I said, I'm not here to play. So as I sit down to check, I'm checking. I'm checking the tone of the emails that go out. I'm checking and I get irritated sometimes when I see emails that have gone out. I'm seeing grammatical errors or links are not working or it's an unpleasant experience. And because that doesn't align with my brand. And we're doing reviews shortly in my, in the in the with the staff I employ. And there, yeah, like what are the little things? The little things matter to me more. So those are the things that I will check and I'll review. That's on the one hand. If I said I wanted to do personal branding, I wanted to read, let's say, 3 books at the end of the quarter. That brings us down to 1 book per month. Okay. If I have a book that is, I don't know what, 400 pages and there are 4 weeks in a month, that means approximately every week I should be reading about 100 pages. I'm just giving rough numbers so that you understand. At the end of week 1, when I'm thinking on Sunday, I'm asking, have you read 100 pages of your book? Have you read that book at all this week? You have 3 weeks to go because there's book 2 that's waiting for you. And then I have those hard conversations. Okay, you didn't read the book. And I don't just say, I didn't read the book. No. Next question is, why didn't I read the book? Is it that this book isn't relevant for where I currently am? Is it that it's boring? I'm not learning anything from it? Is it that is it that I'm boring? I'm not learning anything from the book? Is it that the author's way of writing does not appeal to me? Is it that I feel that this thing is not meeting a present need? Because goals are not just written in stone and no, you evolve with it. So I check that as well. Is it that I'm lazy and I'm watching too much Netflix and sleeping too much? Aha. Why am I sleeping too much? Is it because I'm not rested? I'm not sleeping well at night, or I'm not rested? I've been going back to back to back. Is that it? Is it that I'm having health issues? You know, you delve deep into these things. So those are some of the parameters I use. I use parameters against my health. This one, I'm always whatever, but the Lord will help us. Yeah. So I use parameters against my health. I measure it. But you've been saying this thing over and over again. Can you start and keep it going? What is going on? What's the underlying reason? And you be delving deep. You ask yourself, okay, but why this? You didn't do this fine. Why didn't you do it? because of this. Okay, but why because of this? Well, because of this. And you keep on going down until you get to the root of the matter. Once you identify the root cause, it's easy for you to now build up a solution. So those are some of my personal parameters that I use, and how I actually review my progress. I'm very honest with myself, very, very honest, brutally honest, to be honest with myself. I find it sometimes easier to give myself hard feedback. And I have to learn to congratulate myself and to say, well done, you've done good. For the first time, this was great. But it can be this after. Yeah. Just I hope that helps.
Wow. Thank you so much, Bodam. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Sorry, I went off for a bit. I had a problem with my connection, but this is such an impactful session. But there is something I know a lot of people keep asking me, and for some of the people I mentor, and some of them will tell me, I'm not an online person. You see, I'm not really very much online. I'm a very shy person. And I'm like, do you work for the CIA? No. Do you work for the SSS? No. Have you taken an oath of office, that can be you can be incarcerated for if you go, like, and if you antagonize that kind of oath, they'll say no. So please tell me, in this day and age, is it really expedient? I mean, why can't we just do our work? God sees our hearts. I mean, we have millionaires who are not billionaires who are not online. That's another excuse. So why do I really have to be online? Is it really, can I build a personal brand without being online?
So I think now we need to say first off what online actually is. A number of these people are saying that okay, we don't want maybe Instagram. That's okay because yes, there are billionaires who are not on Instagram. That is very all right, right? That's very okay. Now, my first question to you is: are you a billionaire? Yes or no? If you, let's first of all understand, right? And bear in mind also, there are generation of billionaires that were not on the internet because the internet wasn't needed when they were building their wealth. Case in point,
Yeah,
Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, he's not on Instagram. I mean, if you type it in, you will see many Warren Buffetts coming up, but the Warren Buffett, is not on Instagram. He doesn't sit and post selfies. No, he's not on Instagram in that sense. I'm not too sure if he
yeah,
has a personal website, but he does have his obviously his business website on there and all of those type of things. Again, Warren Buffett is how old? How old is he? He is what? He was born in 19, I don't know what, 50, 1940 something. He's a bit older. When he was building his wealth, the internet wasn't a thing at that time. Okay? Now there are two things. A Mark Zuckerberg, is he really on do we see him again on do we see him on Instagram or posting on
Facebook.
Facebook or whatever? Not necessarily, but we see his brand. So he has built a brand that is Facebook, which has now bought everything else on the face of this earth, has bought Instagram, has bought WhatsApp, everything now belongs to Facebook.
Yeah,
But he has built his brand. So his brand is what you see online. If I don't know your name, do I know your brand name? If the answer to both of those questions is no, then I don't know what you're building. And I'm not saying you have to have an Instagram account. Do you have a personal website or a business website? Somewhere I can
yeah.
go. I'm not going to be sleeping at night and the Holy Spirit is going to wake me up saying, hello, Bodam, Bodam, Bodam. There's a Dr. Izine. No, no, no. Those things don't work. Let's not be funny. And for the people that say God sees my heart, I'm going to use a portion of scripture to tell you because when you're saying God sees, you're trying to tell me you're a Christian. Fine. You are a city that is set on a hill. That's one thing. You are the light of the world. Nobody lights a lamp and puts it under a basket or puts it under the bed. In your home, when you're fixing light bulbs, do you put light bulbs in your cupboard and close the door? You put it in a place that it illuminates the room. So if you are the light of the world, you are a city that's set on a hill that cannot be hidden, what kind of city are you? What kind of light are you if you're a light that can't shine brightly? What impact are you leaving on the world if people don't even know you? And this is not about exhibitionism. Like I said, there's some people I know that do not post on Instagram. Once in a while, one even let me tell you, even one of my speakers on at the Refined Ladies Summit. If you go on her Instagram page, I don't her personal Instagram page. I can't remember when last she was there, but she has built an amazing business that posts multiple times a day. I don't need to see her face. We see her business
Yeah.
face. She
Yeah.
has an amazing personal website that if you go to, everything that you need to know is on there. You know what I mean? So she has
Yeah.
online presence. She's just not TikToking, and you don't need to do that if
Yeah.
that's not your plan. My EA told me once, man, let's do these videos where you're dancing. And I looked at her like, child, just stop. Like, just stop it. I'm not going to be dancing up and down anywhere stop. Let's never have that conversation again. I think I did one of these ones for her once, and I felt so awkward and stupid. I was like, but it's not everything you have to follow. Just do what you do and move on with life. So, answer
Yeah.
is no, you do not have to be on social media in terms of on Instagram or on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Facebook. You don't have to be there, but you or the brand that you're building needs to be visible. Where can we find you? Think about what I said at the very
Yeah.
beginning. We're moving more and more into a fully virtual world where physical contact will be more difficult. I'm not going to get up, fly to New York to look for your office to deal with you in particular. You're not the only one in your field. There are other people
Yeah.
that are there doing things, even if it's not exact to you, it's similar to you, and they are making noise. How about you?
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm sure that helped somebody. So, um, what I hear you say is that you don't necessarily have to be on every social media platform. I think one of these days I heard your coach and my coach also say something so prolific, and she was like, identify the social media platform that works for you and stay there. So, if it's Facebook, if it's Twitter, or a combination of two, but don't just go with a trend. Go with what aligns with your personal brand. Like you just pointed out, TikToking and doing funny, gestures. It feels weird to your personal brand. That doesn't mean that it will not feel right to someone else's personal brand. So just do what works for you. And what I hear also is just be visible. We want to see you. And when we see you, we want to see you a certain way. We don't just want to see you. We want to see you a certain way. Thank you so much, Odam. I heard, as in, like, there are a lot of things I was just hearing and hearing and hearing. Some of the things I'm already applying, and some of them I would reapply to my personal life. I don't know if there are still any other questions, so that we can just take one more and then we'll go. Because I don't know when I can be able to drag, oh Jesus, drag Bodum again. So if you have any other question, please let her know, and then we'll call it a wrap. And if there's no more questions, Amara, do I have any questions coming up backstage on YouTube? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, so I will just, put out one or two things, what I hear you say or what you were saying. And so we tagged this event, Elevate Your Personal Brand, and you said something so prolific. You said you cannot elevate what you don't have. If you don't have it, then what are you elevating? If you don't have it, then what are you elevating? So if you don't have it, then what are you elevating? If you don't have it, then what are you elevating? If I type your if you're on this call, sorry, if you're on this call and then I go to Google and then we type in your name and we are seeing you fighting on the comment section somewhere, you need to, you know, do an overhaul of your personal brand. And then you also said something, yes, we should invest in our personal brand. And you said that the greatest form of respect you can give to yourself as an individual is your personal brand. And there's something I also heard you say that you didn't really say. But you said, a lot of people think when you say personal brand, what is my color? What's my brand color? What is my logo? What does my website look like? But no matter what your website looks like or the colors you pick out, if it doesn't tally with an amiable personality, which is your original brand, that should come after you get your original brand. So you should be seen a certain way. Then from the way you are seen, you can now start pulling out colors. Don't go looking for colors when your original color is black and it's not nice. No matter if you put it purple or pink, it won't change the original color. So I hear you say focus on the things that matter. Then the other things, the external things will align. I want to say thank you so much. We at the Whole Women's Network, we thank you. And as a network, let me just say this: our personal brand is to, portray that woman that is whole, complete. So in the political sector, we are acing it. In our minds, we are acing it. When it comes to elegance, we are acing it. When we walk into room, we are acing it. When we get into the bedroom with our spouses, we are acing it. When we are in the kitchen, if we want to be, we are acing it. So everywhere, that wholeness, that comes with a 21st century God-driven woman, visionary woman, is our vision, basically. And thank you so much, Lady Bodam, for giving us this 1 hour plus. Thank you so much. People don't understand what she just went through. I need to come and find out how you are still so gracious after the challenge that you just faced. I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. And then we'll see you next time, everyone, for our April Hangout. And if there's any other information before then, we will let you know. Thank you so much, Lady Buddha.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Here.